Hello everyone, that's tuning into today's second video, doing the European outlook for today's second video. So, as was on a Thursday, but it's been a while since we did one, we're having a detailed look at the weather for next week or so across Europe, and I should get on that for you in a moment. Just to say that first, but today it was our 6 AM UK weather forecast. We've got a 10-14 day with all of the regular features on the way later on this afternoon as well. Please like, share and subscribe on all today's videos and content, and thank you so much everyone for doing that. The GavsWeatherVids. Right, let's start off with the situation across Europe today. So high pressure remains in control in many areas. Out to the north of this area of high pressure, we've got a lot of mild air coming in from off the Atlantic, but in the high and to the south of it, it's actually quite cold. Other air temperatures are looking like that, so pretty chilly through the central, southern and also eastern parts of Europe, but milder up to the north and to the west. Lots of dry weather out of that area of high pressure as well. There are some showers and maybe, excuse me, maybe some long spells of rain down in towards the Med and into North Africa. And also some showery bursts into far north of Europe as well. Of course, that will be delivering snow to portions of Norway, despite relatively mild upper air temperature. But most areas are dry with quite a lot of low cloud, mist and fog. And temperatures looking quite cold despite warm upper air temperatures. We actually have an inversion going on under that high pressure. So most parts of Europe are cold, especially so in these eastern and southeast regions, looking really cold through the Balkans, for example. Northern Europe, well, it's milder than average, but of course it's still pretty cold through Scandinavia and Nordic regions. You really have to go down to the southern parts of Spain and Portugal to find anything particularly that will feel warm. Well, let's see how things looking tomorrow. Again, high pressure remaining dominant across most parts of Europe. So again, we see generally quite mild upper air temperatures in many areas. Those heavy showers and thunderstorms down across the Mediterranean are intensifying, so through North Africa into the central bowl of the Med, particularly affecting Corsica and Sardinia and southern parts of Italy, but possibly into the Balearic Islands of Mallorca, Menorca, Ibiza too. We could see some big showers and thunderstorms through there. Lots of dry weather then in that area of high pressure with further dense fog, but some rain coming to north of Scotland and a mix of rain and probably quite a lot of snow in towards Norway, just pushing eastwards into northern parts of Sweden and into western Finland there. And it's another cold day across most parts of Europe under that area of high pressure with frost and fog, gruesome twosome in a lot of places. It is milder though out in the far western corner of Europe. That's Saturday. Again, we see high pressure dominant across many areas, and the upper air temperatures continue to look pretty warm. And as far as, or mild, as far as the precipitation goes, well, further heavy showers and storms down into the central bowl of the Med, and some snow and rain coming into Norway, mainly snow, I would have thought, and some rain just spread the far west line, but most areas dry under the area of high pressure, and inversion will mean that despite the warm upper air temperatures aloft, again, it's pretty cold across many parts of Europe with widespread frost and freezing fog, becoming colder perhaps into the far north of Norway and Sweden as well. Now, the high pressure begins to drift over towards the eastern side of Europe when we get into Sunday, with lower pressure developing out in the Atlantic and edging in towards far western corner of Europe. The upper air temperatures continue to look pretty mild in most areas, but bitterly cold air just trying to push southwards into the far north of Finland, Norway and Sweden there. And the showers and thunderstorms are beginning to die down into the central part of the Med, but still some big storms there. Some storms coming in towards Portugal as well, maybe some longer spells of rain, and that stretches up with that wet weather in towards Ireland too. Some snow perhaps affecting Norway, and particularly into the far northern Arctic portions of Scandinavia, Nordic regions, reminding us it is still the middle of winter. And otherwise it's a dry seamo in most areas, and again we have cold temperature, bitterly cold in the extreme northern portion of Arctic Scandinavia and Nordic areas, and also to far northwest of Russia as well. But generally it's a cold scene under that area excuse me, under that area of high pressure once more. Well, that takes us through into Monday. The high pressure, the ridge begins to slip back into the east of Europe. Again, low pressure out in the Atlantic to the north and also to the southwest of the UK and Ireland, just putting that high pressure under more pressure. Bitterly cold air remains situated across the extreme north of Norway, Sweden, and Finland into the northwest Russia. Otherwise, the upper air temperatures are relatively mild. Showers continue through the southern portion of Europe, through the Med, increasingly moving over towards southern parts of Italy, maybe even start to affect some of the Greek islands. Big showers and thunderstorms just to the southwest of Spain and Portugal, and some showery bursts in North Scotland. But again, we see a lot of dry weather, light snow there through northern parts of England, but a lot of dry weather once more. And look at winter really biting across the extreme northern portion of Europe there, and maybe something a bit colder in parts of Sweden and into Norway as well, southern parts of Sweden and Norway, I should say. Otherwise, the high pressure inversion continues, so further frost and fog issues are likely. That takes us through into Tuesday. So the high pressure is clinging on by its fingers. Its central position has actually gone over to the Black Sea and to southern parts of or southwest parts of Russia there. But so that's the centre of high, but the ridge extending all the way still over towards France and the Low Countries and whatnot. That's the kind of pattern you tend to get in the summer more than in the winter. Very strange pattern for January. But anyway, you also see high pressure beginning to build up towards Iceland. That's trying to bring this colder air southwards in towards northern parts of Europe. So the upper air temperatures show about bitterly cold air, but was sitting just to the north of Scandinavia, is starting to edge southwards when we get through into Tuesday. But otherwise, most parts of Europe are still looking relatively mild with those upper air temperatures. Heavy showers and thunderstorms through southern Italy, going over the Adriatic towards the Balkans, could deliver some significant snow down there, and showers and storms beginning to start to threaten the Greek islands as well. Some big showers and thunderstorms and long spells of rain coming through Portugal into parts of Spain, and further northwards, well, we could have further snow moving south through Norway, through Sweden, and particularly through Finland, maybe affecting the Baltic Sea states of Latvia, Estonia and Lithuania. That said, the high pressure still dominating in many areas with a lot of dry weather on Tuesday. Bitterly cold across the far north of Europe. Otherwise, it's a continuation of the cold, frost and fog inversion type conditions. Relatively mild, of course, down into the Med. That takes us through into Wednesday, and high pressure is centred over Scandinavia then, and with the upper air temperature, well, we see bitterly cold air now has flooded southwards through most parts of Scandinavia, just getting to the north of Denmark, into the Baltic Sea states as well, so really cold through there. So winter coming back next week into northern parts of Europe. Meanwhile, most other areas remain mild, just beginning to get a bit colder into the far northeast of Scotland. Heavy showers and storms moving over towards Greece and maybe affecting parts of Turkey as well. That could turn to snow in mountainous areas. Snow, of course, with that bitterly cold air across northern and northeastern parts of Europe, and heavy showers affecting Portugal, just pushing into western parts of Spain. Bit of wet weather into Ireland as well. Most other areas looking dry on Wednesday. Bitterly cold, really cold across northern, northeastern parts of Europe. Temperature going well below freezing day and night up there. And otherwise, again, under the high pressure, we have further frost and fog concerns with relatively mild conditions down into them. And then on into Thursday, well, high pressure is over Scandinavia at 1,035 millibars, so we have got Scandinavian high. However, increasing signs that the Atlantic is beginning to ramp up as well. So upper air temperatures, again, may continue to look bitterly cold through northern and northeastern parts of Europe. And milder air bow coming in from the Atlantic into the far western corner of Europe. Outbreaks of rain in towards the UK and Ireland on Thursday, so that could be heavy and persistent. Snow through Poland in towards Belarus and Ukraine, and further snow up towards Norway, Sweden and Finland as well. Wet weather into eastern parts of France and southern Germany, and most showers and storms from Greece edging further eastwards, maybe starting to move towards the Middle East. And much of central western portion of the bed mostly dry. Very cold across northern and northeastern parts of Europe, anywhere from Germany and or anywhere from Poland and Ukraine northwards, looking really cold through there. And it is wider to go down in the far south and southwest. That's as far as I'm going to go, because with high pressure in Scandinavia and low pressure ramping up in the Atlantic, I think we need to stay cautious about where we go beyond that, and we'll have more. We have 10 to 14 day. That leaves things a little bit poised for the 10 to 14 day later on. If you've enjoyed this forecast for Europe, remember to like, share, and subscribe. And we're going to be back with your 10 to 14 day, including all operating features later on. For this remote, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.